basically done that without human interaction, and so we probably really don't need to be interacting with them, and we do need to be trying to just prove that they exist and then set up protection for them or something, if you want to look at it that way, you know. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of the reasons I am trying to capture whatever I can. I would like to see that happen, you know, see them be protected. Cause,
I personally don't think the government will ever allow any kind of official notification, because then their, you know, billions of dollars a year national parks system would lose a lot of money, because then they have to say, and by the way, be careful if you're on that trail, because there's been Bigfoot, you know, and all of a sudden they've got to admit that. And then, you know, there's going to be there's enough people afraid of mountain lions and cougars and bears and all this kind of stuff like that. Well, there's going to be even more people that are, well, I don't want to go in the wood if there is really this 8-foot, you know, man-like creature that's intelligent enough to stalk me without me knowing it's there, kind of thing. And, you know, so I just kind of think it's one of those things that is, you know, I don't think they'll ever let there be an acknowledgement, because it's one of those you can't handle the truth kind of situation, and then it would hit them in their pocketbooks if it did too. So.
Yeah, and same with the a lot of people talk about the logging industry would be completely screwed from that too.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. That's another one of those, just like the what is it, California? I think it was the horned owl or whatever, the spotted white owl, I think it is, and where they had found that its habitat was being destroyed, and so it, you know, basically they quit doing all this logging, and cost a lot of money and jobs and everything, and then that's another reason that they won't let it go that far and squash it. You know, just like the oil companies won't let everybody drive electric cars.
Yep.
They'd be out of business.
Yeah, it's a kind of a sad world we live in, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's why we do what we're doing. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, you know what, man, life is too short, and there's, you know, a whole lot of stuff that you can make it interesting while you're here. And us being involved in this, man, there's worse ways to spend your life, you know.
Yeah.
We're making an honest living, and we're doing a little something that we like on the side, and it's just interesting, man. That's all there is to it. It's just, you know, never a dull moment, and something to, you know, be involved in. And if we're lucky enough and they do end up proving that the species existed, well, then you know, folks like me and you and the regular Joes that do little things like this, you've been a part of you know, the recognition of this and being involved in it, you know. So
yeah, it's definitely a great thing. Yeah, I did the Appalachian Trail back in 2014, and so like,
okay, did you like the whole thing?
Yeah, from started in Maine and went southbound to Georgia, and
well, you came right by our house then.
Yeah. Yeah, and man, so I just live for this kind of stuff, and being able to investigate that kind of stuff in the woods and everything is already something I'm comfortable being in the woods, and it's just what I love to do. So, like you said, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's worse things you could do with everything that's going wrong in the world and everything. You know, you could be sitting in the house in a dark corner shooting up or popping pills or just being an alcoholic, and you know, people can't wrong you for getting out and wanting to broaden your mind and be out in the woods and do something besides something harmful to yourself and others, you know. So it's just life is short, man. You know, we don't have not guaranteed any time here, but we don't have much time here, and so you may as well make it interesting while you're here. And I mean, this is just fun. Me and my wife have said, when it no longer becomes enjoyable, then we'll just get out of it. And what we were talking about is, if you've been around it long enough, is unfortunately there is stuff called Bigfoot drama.
Yep.
And we had said, because me and her had been into this without the social media and the groups and the conferences, and we had said if it got to the point that it was just too big of a hassle, then we would just disconnect from all that and just keep doing what we're doing, listening and reading and watching at the house, you know. And anyways,
Yep. Yeah, I stay away from the drama myself. I know it's in the paranormal community too. It happens, and I just don't even pay any attention to it. I just do my own work and have a great little community too of people who are involved, and so it's great. One thing I wanted to bring up, I meant to bring it up earlier, but then I forgot. Was I find it funny, like I'll be at work or something, and I'll be talking about, like someone will ask like about my channel or something, and I'll start bringing up Bigfoot, and a lot of people think like there's only like one Bigfoot in the whole country or something. Like they're like, I think he's real or something. I'm like, I think there's many Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought that was
whenever I was interviewing Bobo, that was one of the things that he pointed out, was that when people say, I think he's existing, he's like, they.
Yeah.
What they don't understand is it's they. There's them. There's a lot of them. It's not one thing. He pointed that out,
Yeah, that's hilarious. I keep forgetting all my questions that I was going to ask. I usually...
Sorry, man. I'm one of those people.
Dude.
My wife had said when I got into this and they started asking me to do conferences and come on podcasts, she said, well, you figured out how to get into conferences for free and be involved, and they're asking you to talk about stuff up on stage, and they're asking you to be on these shows. I'm not a introvert, as you can tell. I'm a big ham, too. And so I get to talking, and especially when it's with somebody like you, and I just can I can go on, you have that storage of useless knowledge that all of a sudden it becomes relevant when you talk to someone else who's interested in it.
Yeah, man, and I love, we've covered a lot of amazing stuff tonight. Just in, I know it's only an hour, but just in the hour we've really talked about some awesome stuff. I had one question in the chat. What is your most memorable moment? Is what the question was. I guess in doing all this.
Most memorable moment. Well, there's a few of them. Probably, I'm going to have to say if there's two I'll have to give you. My most memorable moment right now was literally sitting in front of a fireplace with Dr. Jeff Meldrum at Salt Fork State Park at the lodge doing his interview, because I had watched and read his stuff. And then that was very surreal. But then the next most memorable moment was when I finally met Cliff Barrickman from Finding Bigfoot. The night before our interview, we met, and it happened to be at a bar there at Salt Fork State Park, in the lodge there, and I had come up and helped him basically brush off a couple drunk guys that were bugging these girls that wanted their picture with him, and so he asked me to take the picture, and then when I introduced myself, oh, okay, you're Bill, and then me and him sat there and talked about Star Wars for 20 minutes instead of Bigfoot. So that would be it. It was the biggest one so far, and I don't mean to belittle any of them, but it was really neat to sit down the academic who's putting his career on the line and everything to be the science side of it, sat down with him and have him answer your questions. And then the other one was literally talking about Star Wars in a bar with Cliff Barrickman after, saying, hey, I'm the guy we're doing the interview tomorrow and been talking to you for the last half year, So I know that may not be what they wanted, but that's been in this whole process, that's been two of the most memorable. But I mean, I could go on, but that's been the two of the most memorable moments.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Jeff Meldrum is a professor of anatomy and anthropology and a professor of the Department of Anthropology at Idaho State University. So, and yeah, I've definitely seen him just in a lot of different stuff, and I would love to meet him and talk to him too, though.
He's neat, and he's another one of those guys that literally the night before there was even any speaking or anything going on, he was just hanging out in the hallway and just, chatting with folks, Very approachable guy and fascinating to talk to. Just as just as fascinating as you had hoped it would be to meet him and talk to him, but just a very personable guy. And I mean, I'll tell you another guy that I had no idea how to take or expect, but when we got to meet Lauren Coleman at Crypticon in Frankfurt, and we were doing his interview, my wife actually interviewed him, and I do all the filming, but she goes with me to some of the stuff and actually she writes the questions and writes the narrative, and she does the narration and all that. And she was doing the interview. And I'm going to tell you, Lauren I didn't know how to take him, because you look at him and you kind of think that, well, this is going to be kind of the stuffy kind of guy. He was as funny and as nice as he could be. And again, his vault of knowledge is just crazy. The stuff that doesn't make it into the films, I'm going to have to figure out some way of putting it out, because he just was another wealth of knowledge, and a flesh and blood guy and everything. And but he was just he was super neat. He was probably one of the other ones. I mean, Bobo was just as cool as you thought. Bobo was just as cool as you would imagine Bobo would be. He was just as cool as he could be. They all were. I mean, Lyle was really neat. We related because he had talked about doing the stuff, ordering Scholastic reader books, just like I did. That's how he had gotten into much of this stuff, and I was like, "That's crazy. That's you basically have read my mind and
I think
the same thing."
He mentioned some of that in our show, in the show I had when I had him on. So
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, just like with these encounters, if your story always stays the same, then you're not changing it, then he's probably telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, they're all just people, like all the big names and everything. A lot of them are just awesome guys and girls.
Yeah. And see, and I'm going to throw something else out here. A lot of folks that give people like Cliff and Bobo a hard time because they were the TV side of it, the celebrity side of it and everything. You're talking about, Cliff was a school teacher and has been doing research for like 23 plus years. And Bobo was working in the woods and commercial fishing and all this stuff like that, and had been researching for like 30 years. These are real folks, and they happen to they got lucky. And you talk about Bigfoot famous, they became the faces of the Bigfoot famous before there was Bigfoot famous. Mm-hmm. But they were the ones that got so many folks into it, because all of a sudden it was on TV. After the reruns and everything, it was on TV all the time, that you could literally flip on and watch shows about Bigfoot. And so they really were, the catalyst that brought it, the modern era of it. You've got Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson back in '68, the footage and everything that brought brought all of this modern era of it. But the new modern era was kind of exploded when you had Finding Bigfoot. So love it or hate it, it got a lot of people interested, a lot of people out in the field. Doing what you're doing now and what a lot of these other guys are doing, they'd have never got out there and done that unless they had seen, wait a minute, I can grab a camera and go out here and do this and start looking for this, and I may not be famous and on a show, but I can do what they're doing. And so it got a lot of people out there doing it. And so, and then you had a bunch of these conferences. You had small little library seminars before that, but then you had these conferences popping up. And so, it was, and I have, after meeting those two guys in particular, because I didn't get to meet the rest of them, I gained even more respect for the fact that these guys are real researchers, and they're not actors playing Bigfoot guys. Yep. I guess is what I'm getting at,
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, before we close it out, go ahead and tell everyone where they can find your stuff. And also, I put some links down in the description of the show, but just let everyone know. Well,
first of all, our first movie, Cultured Bigfoot, it's available for rent and download on Amazon, and it's also available on vidispace.com, VIDI-space.com for rent and download. If you want a DVD, you can get a hold of me by Gmail through darthbill68@gmail.com. Or you can go to one of our Facebook pages, and basically I have a Cultured Bigfoot Facebook page, I have a Paranormal Bigfoot Facebook page, And then we call ourselves Bilco Productions with one L. And you can inbox